Wow, this is a fun fight. Said no one ever. You have to be fucking joking. I cannot stand the fan base, bro. I cannot. This is horrible. This is fucking disgusting. Look at this shit. Twice Elden Ring. Why? What the fuck is this? Ladies and gentlemen, with the recent drama surrounding the absolute clown show we like to refer to as the Game Awards announcing that the DLC of Elden Ring was qualifying for a Game of the Year award, I figured now was the perfect time to upload this video. Sorry, I haven't even seen what I look like before I filmed this video. I was just that excited to do it. I've had this video filmed for months. I mean, I'm talking since the summer. Since back when this DLC first came out, I've had this video filmed. The reason why I haven't uploaded it is for two main reasons. For one, I'm not gonna lie, I did lose a good majority of the footage. I lost footage of me reacting to the initial cutscene of the final boss, as well as just the overall process of me learning his moveset and learning how he operated, which was a fucking nightmare because the boss design was god-awful. But I did manage to keep the footage of me actually defeating the boss and my strategy that I used to defeat the boss. You guys will see that in just a second here. This video is not going to be for the newer viewers. I can completely come out and admit that right now. This is probably just going to be a video for all the OGs, for all the real ones who just, you know, show up and they just watch whatever the fuck I put out there on this damn website. It's nothing special, bro. It's literally just me defeating the final boss and then going on a rant about how awful this DLC was, because I'm sorry, with the standards we put Forum Software up to, this DLC was fucking terrible. I don't care what anybody says. I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for that. You'll hear my reasoning after I kill this boss. And on top of that, I'm actually going to be uploading a video of me reacting to the Game Awards nominees as well as who I nominated for on the React channel. You guys can go check out the React channel. I'll have it linked in the description and it'll be on the screen now. But for now, enjoy this absolute shitfest of a DLC. I don't know how this managed to get a Game of the Year nominee. Absolutely, it's absolute joke to the Stellar Blade developers, to Silent Hill 2, to Persona 3 Reload, just any other game out there. I'm sure you guys can name a bunch more as well. A fucking card game on top of that. A fucking card game? Like, what the fuck are we doing? Shout out to the card game, but what the motherfucker, get out of here. You were not invited. All right, I'm done with the rant. This is not supposed to be a rant video. This is supposed to be a me fighting the final boss video and then me ranting about the DLC video, and that's what the fuck this is. Let's get to the final boss. This is me killing the final boss and getting a little bit annoyed at the last couple of fucking moves. I'll see you, enjoy. I've been on this fight for far too long. I've pretty much got all his patterns down at this point. I want this done, bro. I want this over with, and we're moving on. I might just show, like, my final attempt here. It might not be very long till I get him, because I'm pretty much at a point where I think I could get him, bro. So let's log in and let's get this over with. I supposed to fucking do? Come on, do the fucking... Notice how I'm not the slightest bit overjoyed with fucking... Notice I'm not jumping up in the air. Notice how I don't give a single fuck. You notice that? You notice how I literally could not care less that I beat him? What a horrible fight, bro. Easily, without question, the worst final boss I have ever fought in any video game I have ever played, bro. And I've played Mortal Kombat 1. This was the worst final boss I have ever fought against, bro. There is so much I need to say about this DLC that I'm going to once those credits roll. I take it this is the end right here. So, let me just walk up here and see if there's anything up here. I doubt it. I'm sure there's probably like 3 different endings. But in reality, the endings are probably just the same 3 endings with a different cloud texture, because that's what they were in the base game. I'm just gonna get the default ending. So. Don't care. But please, like, be some cool shit, bro, after that. I mean, I'll say everything I need to say once these credits roll. Just, let me see what the fuck they're talking about here.
I'm going to be a god.
Fake ass Zelda, bro. That was literally Zelda in Ganondorf. Like, that was so uncreative, the designs. Literally Zelda in Ganondorf.
Promise me you'll be my consort.
In the lore, isn't Moog Mikkela's brother?
I'll make the world a gentler place.
I think. Sorry, you guys are getting some pit action. I don't really care. I gotta stretch it out. Such an unenjoyable fight. Oh wow. Wow, what the fuck was that? How do I end the game, bro? Where's the end game fucking thing? How do I end this shit? Are you fucking serious, game? How do I end you? There's no way that's the fucking end. That's the end of the game, guys. That's the end. That's the end of the DLC. I swear on everything I know and love. I just looked it up. That is the end of the DLC. That's how they ended it. Are you fucking serious? Oh my god, they're not helping. They're not making it any easier for me to not criticize them, bro. They're not making it any easier. Let me sit at this fucking side of grace and let me start going on a rant, bro. Look, I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be talking for a while because there's so much I gotta get off my chest. There's so much I gotta say about this. And because it's my channel, bro, this is the best part about this, right? This is my channel, so everything that I'm about to say is my opinion. Please understand, you are welcome to have your own opinion. You are welcome to disagree with my opinion. You are completely that is 100% acceptable. I'm completely okay with that. But just know, you're on my channel, you're gonna hear my opinion, all right? First off, before I say every and anything that I'm going to say right here, let this be known. This is from someone with over 381 hours into the game. I've got 381 hours in Elden Ring. I've played it almost a dozen times at this point, over 10 times from start to finish. So just understand, this is coming from someone who loves the game. This is without question the most overrated additional content, DLC, whatever you want to call it, I have ever played in my entire life, bro. And I've played a lot of DLCs, a lot of games with additional content. This takes the cake as the worst one, bro. And let me explain why. People hold this company, Form Software, to such a high standard. They hold them to such a high standard. Everything I hear about this company is praise. Praise, 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 praise. I never once hear any criticism that when there's clearly plenty to criticize about this company ever. Look, I know I said I got a lot to get over, so let's just start chronologically. First off, okay, the DLC itself, it was $40. Now look, I'll be honest, was there $40 worth of content in the DLC? I'll make the argument, I'll be honest, yeah, I would say there was $40 worth of content in it. Was it high enough quality to be $40? Fuck no. If you ask me, fuck no. It was not good enough to be $40. But content-wise, and I think that's what really matters, content-wise, yeah. Okay, I can understand the 40-point price tag. Moving on. Bosses. It's funny, they're called remembrance bosses. I think maybe 2 of them were rememberable to an extent. I remember going into this, one thing they were advertising and making such a big deal of was like, oh, there's 10 different new remembrance bosses, and we're thinking like, oh wow, that's pretty cool. There was only like 8 in the main game, or like something like that. 10 new remembrance bosses? That's gonna be crazy. Meanwhile, only 2 of them were fucking memorable. The rest of them were just bullshit. I fought a remembrance boss off camera that you guys didn't see because it was that boring and forgettable. And that was Commander Gaius or whatever. It was literally just a Knights Cavalry / Tree Sentinel reskinned. That is all it was, and that was a remembrance boss. And speaking of bosses, some of the worst boss design movesets, just overall worst fights ever in the entire game. Not even just base game, just everything in between. The worst designed bosses we have ever seen from this fucking series was in this DLC, bro. Only 2 bosses that I can confidently say I genuinely enjoyed fighting. And when I died to the boss, I was looking forward to going through that fog gate to fight again. And if you've seen the whole playthrough, you would know what those are. Midra, and the second one might come as a bit of a surprise, but the Divine Beast Lion. Those were the only 2 fights that were genuinely enjoyable to fight, and I was looking forward to walking back through that fog door to go fight again. The only one that sort of comes close to being on the list with those two is Midsummer. And the reason why I say this is because at first fighting Midsummer was fucking AIDS. It was trash. The fucking particle effects all up in your face, which is another thing we'll talk about. It was just not enjoyable. Once you started to learn his moveset, it became a little bit more bearable and a little bit more enjoyable, but it's still not on the list with those two. I guess since I just mentioned it, the particle effects, the blinding bullshit. Some of the bosses and the camera angles are so god-awful. They're so bad. Especially with this fight, it was very apparent. Miquela's hair takes up half the fucking screen. If you go even just a tiny bit behind Radahn, you cannot see the next move he's doing. And the next thing you know, you're getting hit by it, you're dying, bro. I don't even really want to talk about the Radahn fight. You guys know exactly what I have to say about it. It was terrible. It was so bad. The extra AoE with the light attacks was completely unnecessary. It doesn't make the fight any more enjoyably difficult. It just makes it hard for no fucking reason whatsoever. Just unnecessary challenge. This, seriously, I did not enjoy this DLC one bit, bro. I tried to give it a chance. When I fought Midra and I had that one episode, I really thought maybe it would revive it, but no, bro. This was bad, man. This was bad. And it's crazy because if people like me don't come out and criticize it where it deserves criticism, they're going to continue making the same shit over and over and over again. That's the thing that happened with Elden Ring base game. Elden Ring base game got praised so much, as it should. It was excellent, as it should have, but it had flaws, bro. It had a lot of flaws. And the problem is those flaws got overlooked because nobody fucking cared to talk about them. Everybody just talked about all the good shit, which is great, don't get me wrong. But there are flaws. It has a lot of flaws, and nobody seemed to care about those flaws enough to get the fucking developers to be on the same wavelength. You get what I'm saying? Take this for an example, right? I don't want to bring up other games and studios into this because I just don't. But it's the only way I can really describe what I'm trying to say. God of War 2018, one of the most highly critically acclaimed games of our generation. Just overall, an incredible reviewed game. But despite the incredible reviews and all the incredible things everybody said about it, there was criticism. And if you've played the game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know the exact criticism I'm referring to. That was none other than the constant reskin troll bosses throughout the story and the lack of enemy variety. People hated that shit. As much as they loved the game, they hated that, and they criticized it constantly, as it was rightfully so. Santa Monica deserved that criticism and that feedback because, albeit as great as the game was, that was holding it back. It was a flaw, a very big flaw in the game itself. So what happened next? Sony Santa Monica heard the criticism. They heard the flaws. They heard the feedback. They said, hey, they straight up came out and said, hey, we hear you guys. We hear you guys hated the reskin trolls. We hear you guys wanted more enemy variety. Guess what? Our next installment in the God of War series, aka God of War Ragnarok, we're getting that shit out of here. We're adding more enemy variety. We're changing that up, and we're getting rid of all the troll reskin boss fights throughout the story. We got rid of that shit. We hear you guys loud and clear. We understand that you guys were criticizing that. We understand you guys didn't like that, and we're going to change it. Sony Santa Monica came out and made a statement on that. They said it, and they changed it, and they put it to life. They made it happen. What did From Software do about the criticism and flaws of Elden Ring? Nothing. Nothing at all. As good as people want to say this developing studio is, nothing out there has ever once told me that they are for the people. Nothing about From Software has once ever told me that they are for the people and they are looking to make the best, and they're looking to make something that we all genuinely enjoy. Everything about their company to me has felt like a good game with a Supreme or Off-White sticker slapped on it. Never once has anything ever told me that From Software is as good of a company as people hold them to be. They really are not. You want to talk about a good developing studio, you talk about a studio that's there for the fans, they're there for the people, they're there for the players, they want to make change, they want to make the games better. Sony Santa Monica is the perfect example I could give for that, bro. This is not as good of a game studio as people make it out to be. I think these games have potential. I think they are talented. Don't get it twisted. I think it's a talented development studio. But if people are too afraid to criticize this game, which they are, then they're never going to improve. They're just going to keep doubling down on the things they're doing bad and not improving on the things they're doing good. That's another thing that this DLC did. It basically took all the bad things from base game Elden Ring and amplified them by 10. All the shitty-ass moves from some of the bosses, like Millennia, for example, with the waterfowl dance, just a bunch of bullshit-ass moves. They basically just amplified that shit in the DLC, and all the good shit they did, they didn't expand upon. They didn't elevate and bring to the next level. They just carried it over, which should not be the case. You should be elevating that skill, that sort of good, positive feedback you already have. You should be making that even better. But no, there was none of that. It just amplified every bad thing they did. Another thing, I'm probably the only person who's gonna talk about this, but the music. It's because I'm a music person, right? Music was incredibly forgettable. There was maybe one song, two songs that really stood out to me, and that was Divine Beast Lion and Midra. Mustember's theme was close. I'll be honest, Radahn's theme from a musical standpoint wasn't even that good. It was just fucking loud. Like, don't get that confused, bro. Don't get just because a song is loud doesn't mean it's good, right? Radahn's theme was very loud, but it really wasn't that good. It was basically, it was a better version of Radahn's theme, which was already very basic in my opinion as it was. Oh, the ending. Bro, there was some cool, there was one specific cool ass character I've been thinking of. Godwin. That is the only character to this day we have not seen or heard from since the base game started. Bro, I can promise to you, not a single person on this entire planet up until this very day has ever said, oh wow, I really enjoyed that Radahn fight from base game. Man, I really want to fight him again as the final boss for the DLC. Nobody ever said that shit. Who wanted to fight Radahn again as a final boss? Nobody asked for that shit, bro. Nobody asked for that shit. Nobody fucking asked for that at all. What everybody wanted was we wanted like a Miquella fight as the final boss and have Miquella be like some absolute crazy like beast or some shit. Nobody wanted to fight Radahn again. It was so fucking random. And you could sit here and say, oh, in the lore, this happened and that. Like, I get that, but they didn't have to do that. They could have made the lore something else. They didn't have to go down that route. You say, oh, but that would go against the lore. Motherfucker, they make the lore. They can do what the fuck they want with the lore. As far as I'm concerned, Godwin could have been a cool-ass final boss. Look, I don't know how the fuck they could do that in the lore. I don't know how they could make that happen, but I'm sure they could do something. If they could fucking bring Radahn back from the dead to be the final fucking boss and Miquella's consort, they could have made Godwin the final boss, alright? So don't even give me that bullshit. They could have easily worked his way back into the fucking DLC for something. I have no idea, but they could have fucking done it. Like, Godwin was easily one of the most intriguing and coolest characters. We see him in the Deep-Root Depths. If you've played the game, you see his corpse is in the Deep-Root Depths, and he's huge, and he's like fucking half like mermaid, half like fucked up like squid. Like, he looks so creepy because he's been like plagued by the Deep-Root like fucking death shit. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of crazy lore to him, but he looks fucking sick. And he could have been a cool ass final boss. He's the only person in the lore we have not seen. Like, we haven't really seen it, bro. And they could have easily expanded on him in DLC. It's like they just straight up forgot about him. Didn't even mention him at all. That's like a missed opportunity right there. They could have easily made Godwin the final boss, bro. And that would have been way better. Even if the fight was just as ass as Radahn's fight, at least it's not Radahn. Because like I said, nobody fucking asked to fight Radahn again. I think that pretty much covers everything I needed to say. This was not... I did not enjoy this, bro. As you can obviously tell. It's unfortunate because I loved Elden Ring's base game. Like I said, this is my channel, so I get to express my opinion. You are more than happy and welcome to disagree with my opinion, as that's the freedom of speech. So you can, by all means, you know what I'm saying, if you disagree with my opinion, you have your own opinions. If you genuinely enjoyed this DLC, this was one of your favorite DLCs, additional contents you've done, or you've played, then, you know, good for you. You know, I'll be happy for you. Me personally, this wasn't for me, bro. This was not for me. Form Software is really for the people. If they're as good of a studio as people say they are, which they're not, then they would hear the criticism, which there is none in the first place. So I can't even really blame Form Software too much for not changing the game to be better, considering nobody's fucking complaining about it and everybody's just praising it. So I guess maybe it's not too much Form Software's fault as much as it is the fans' fault. I feel like if more fans and players were able to speak their mind and criticize it where it deserves criticism, and of course praise it as well, like it's not just straight up hate. You guys have already heard how much I love the game. Just by how many hours alone I have in it, that tells you how much I love the game. So it's not just criticism. It's not just, I'm not just hating to hate. I'm genuinely criticizing because there are flaws and that I want to see these things changed if they continue to make games in the future and I maybe play them. I want to see this shit change, bro. I want it to be better. For now, that is going to be the end of Elden Ring's DLC. What a disappointment. But hey, man, this is what it is. We're moving on. I really hope you guys enjoyed the series as it was. And yeah, that's all. Thank you so much for watching. As always, capture moments, create memories. I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.